Hi, my name is Brian S. Mahoney of BrianSMahoneyOnline.com, and welcome to the biography of billionaire Bill Gates. Bill Gates was born William Henry Gates III, 28 October 1955, in Seattle, Washington. Residence, Medina, Washington. Alma mater, Harvard University. Occupation, technology advisor to Microsoft, co-chair of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. CEO of Cascade Investment, Chair of Corbis, years active 1975 to present. Current net worth estimated at $78.8 billion. Board member of Microsoft and Berkshire Hathaway. Religion, Roman Catholic. Spouse, Melinda Gates, married in 1994 with 3 children. Parents, William H. Gates Sr., Mary Maxwell Gates. Website, thegatesnotes.com. William Henry Bill Gates III was born 28 October 1955 and is an American business magnate, philanthropist, investor, computer programmer, and inventor. In 1975, Gates co-founded Microsoft, the world's largest PC company, with Bill Allen. During his career at Microsoft, Gates held the position of chairman, CEO, and chief software architect, and was the largest individual shareholder until May of 2014. Bill has co-authored several books. Starting in 1987, Gates was included in the Forbes list of the world's richest and wealthiest people and was the wealthiest overall from 1995 to 2014, excluding a few years after the financial crisis of 2007 through 2008. Between 2009 and 2014, his wealth more than doubled from $40 billion to more than $82 billion. Between 2013 and 2014, his wealth increased by $15 billion. Gates is currently the richest man in the world. Gates stepped down as Chief Executive Officer at Microsoft in January 2000. He remained as chairman and created the position of chief software architect for himself. In June of 2006, Gates announced that he would be transitioning from full-time work at Microsoft to part-time work and full-time work at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. He gradually transferred his duties to Ray Ozzie, chief software architect, and Craig Mundy, chief research and strategy officer. Ozzie later left the company. Gates' last full-time day at Microsoft was June 27, 2008. He stepped down as chairman of Microsoft in February 2014, taking on the new post as technology advisor to support newly appointed CEO Satya Nadella. At 13, he enrolled at the Lakeside School, a private preparatory school, when he was in the 8th grade. The Mothers Club at the school used proceeds from Lakeside School's rummage sale to buy a teletype Model 33 ASR terminal and a block of computer time on a General Electric computer. For the school's students, Gates took an interest in programming the GE system in BASIC and was excused from math classes to pursue his interests. He wrote his computer program on this machine, an implementation of tic-tac-toe that allowed users to play games against the computer. Gates was fascinated by the machine and how it would always execute software code perfectly. When he reflected back on that moment, he said, "There was just something neat about the machine." After the Mothers Club donation was exhausted, he and other students sought time on systems including the DEC PDP microcomputers. One of these systems was the PDP-10 belonging to the Computer Center Corporation, or CCC, which banned 4 Lakeside students, Gates, Paul Allen, Rick Whelan, and Ken Evans, for the summer after it caught them exploiting bugs in the operating system to obtain free computer time. At age 17, Gates formed a venture with Allen called Trafodata to make traffic counters based on the Intel 8008 processor. In early 1973, Gates served as a congressional page in the U.S. House of Representatives. Gates graduated from Lakeside School in 1973 and was a National Merit Scholar. He scored 1,590 out of a possible 1,600 on the SAT and enrolled at Harvard College in the autumn of 1973. While at Harvard, he met Steve Ballmer, who would later succeed Gates as CEO of Microsoft. Gates did not have a definite study plan while a student at Harvard and spent a lot of time using the school's computers. Gates remained in contact with Paul Allen, and he joined him at Honeywell during the summer of 1974. The following year saw the release of MIT's Altair 8800 based on the Intel 8080 CPU. And Gates and Allen saw this as an opportunity to start their own computer software company. Gates dropped out of Harvard at this time. He had talked his decision over with his parents, who were supportive of him after seeing how much Gates wanted to start a company. After reading the January 1975 issue of Popular Electronics that had demonstrated the Altair 8800, Gates contacted Micro Instrumentation and Telemetry Systems, MITS, the creators of the new microcomputer, to inform them that he and others were working on a basic interpreter for the platform. In reality, Gates and Allen did not have the Altair and had not written code for it. They merely wanted to gauge MITS's interest. MITS President Ed Roberts agreed to meet with them to see a demo. Over the course of a few weeks, they had developed an Altair emulator that ran on a microcomputer, and then the basic interpreter. The demonstration held at MITS's office at Albuquerque was a success and resulted in a deal with MITS to distribute the interpreter as Altair Basic. Paul Allen was hired into MITS, and Gates took a leave of absence from Harvard to work with Allen at MITS in Albuquerque in November 1975. They named their partnership Micro-Soft and had their first office located in Albuquerque. Within a year, the hyphen was dropped, and on 26 November 1976, the trade name Microsoft was registered with the Office of the Secretary of State of New Mexico. Gates never returned to Harvard to complete his studies. Microsoft launched its first retail version of Microsoft Windows on November 20th of 1985. And in August, the company struck a deal with IBM to develop a separate operating system called OS/2. Although the two companies successfully developed the first version of the new system, mounting creative differences caused the partnership to deteriorate. Gates' role at Microsoft for most of its history was primarily a management and executive role. On June 15th, 2006, Gates announced that he would transition out of his day-to-day role over the next 2 years to dedicate more time to philanthropy. He divided his responsibilities between two successors, placing Ray Ozzie in charge of day-to-day management and Craig Monday in charge of long-term product strategy. Many decisions that led to the antitrust litigation over Microsoft's business practices have had Gates' approval. In 1998, the United States v. Microsoft case gave Gates deposition testimony that several journalists characterized as evasive. He argued with examiner David Boies over the contextual meaning of words such as compete, concerned, and we. The judge and other observers in the courtroom were seen laughing at various points during the deposition. Businessweek noted, despite Gates' denials, the judge ruled that Microsoft had committed monopolization and tying and blocking competition, both in violation of the Sherman Antitrust Act. After being named one of Good Housekeeping's 50 most eligible bachelors, in 1985 Gates married Melinda French on 1 January 1994. They had 3 children, daughters Jennifer, Catherine, Phoebe Adele, and a son, Rory John. In an interview with Rolling Stones, Gates stated in regard to his faith, "The moral systems of religion, I think, are super important. We've raised our kids in a religious way. They've gone to the Catholic Church that Melinda goes to and I participate in. I've been very lucky, and therefore I owe it to try and reduce the inequity in the world. And that's the kind of religion belief I mean. It's at least a moral belief." In the same interview, Gates said, "I agree with people like Richard Dawkins that mankind felt the need to create myths. Before really began to understand disease and the weather and things like that, we sought false explanations for them. Now, science has filled in some of the realm, not all, that religion used to fill. But the mystery and the beauty of the world is overwhelmingly amazing, and there's no scientific explanation of how it came about. To say that it was generated by random numbers, that does not seem, sort of an uncharitable view. I think it makes sense to believe in God, but exactly what decision your life you make differently because of it, I don't know. Gates studied the work of Andrew Carnegie and met John D. Rockefeller, and in 1994 sold some of his Microsoft stock to create the William H. Gates Foundation. In 2000, Gates and his wife combined 3 family foundations to create the charitable Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which was identified the funds for NGOs companies in 2013 as the world's wealthiest charitable foundation, with assets reportedly valued at more than $34.6 billion. The foundation allows benefactors to access information that shows how its money is being spent, unlike other major charitable organizations such as the Wellcome Trust. The foundation is organized into 4 program areas: Global Development Division, Global Health Division, United States Division, and Global Policy and Advocacy Division. In 2007, the Los Angeles Times criticized the foundation for investing its assets in companies which have been accused of worsening poverty, polluting heavily, and pharmaceutical companies that do not sell into the developing world. In response to the press criticism, the foundation subsequently canceled the review and stood by its policies of investing for maximum return while using voting rights to influence company practices. The Gates Millennium Scholars Program has been criticized by Ernest W. Lefevre for its exclusion of Caucasian students. The scholarship program was administered by the United Negro College Fund. Gates has recently expressed concern about the existential threats of superintelligence. In a Reddit Ask Me Anything interview, he stated that first, machines will do a lot of jobs for us and not be superintelligent. That should be positive if we manage it well. A few decades after that, though, the intelligence is strong enough to be a concern. I agree with fellow billionaire Elon Musk and some others on this, and don't understand why some people are not concerned. In March of 2015, an interview with Baidu's CEO, Robert Lee, Gates claimed he would highly recommend Nick Bostrom's recent work, Superintelligence: Paths, Dangers, Strategies. Books and films and social media. Bill Gates has authored 2 books, The Road Ahead, written with Microsoft executive Nathan Marvoyd and journalist Peter Reinserson, was published in November of 1995. It summarized the implications in the personal computer revolution and described a future profoundly changed by the arrival of global information superhighway. The other book was Business at the Speed of Thought, was published in 1999 and discusses how businesses and technology are integrated and shows how digital infrastructures and information works to help getting the edge on the competition. He was also in the documentary Triumph of the Nerds, Virtual Revolution, and Waiting for Superman. He's participated in feature films The Pirates of Silicon Valley and was also portrayed in the 2010 film The Social Network, and in 2015 Steve Jobs vs. Bill Gates. That's it, and thank you for watching.